Hey, Casas Adobe's Pastor John here, and I'm going to be talking about our lesson this week. So, we've been going through the gospel, the good news of Luke, and we come on a section that many of us are familiar with from the gospel of Matthew, and it's called the Beatitudes. If you remember the Beatitudes, those are the 8 blessings that Matthew said Jesus went up on a mountain and delivered to everyone. And you might remember it's like, blessed are, blessed are, blessed are. And so Luke has one, but guess what? Luke doesn't go up on a mountain. Luke has Jesus talking about blessing on a plane. And so sometimes it's called Sermon on the Plain. Anyway, he's talking about blessing, and it made me think about all the different ways that sometimes we bless things, or people call me to bless things. You know, sometimes they ask me to put some oil on them to help them remember that they're blessed, or sometimes I burn special things to so we can smell that God is around and that there's a blessing. Sometimes I'll put water on something just to remind, like the blessing of baptism. Sometimes we light candles and remember that there are blessings that way. So there are all those ways to remind us of blessings, but there's a really important way of blessing, and I say it every week. If you listen to my videos and my family messages, I always say to be well, to be safe, and of course, be a blessing. And that's what it is. Blessings are verbs. And that's what we're reminded of on the Sermon on the Plain. Because Jesus says, you know, there are certain things that we need to remember to to bless and be active with, because blessing is a verb. And so he says, blessed are you who are hungry now, because you'll be filled. So remember people who are hungry, and always be hungry to do more. You know, so help the hungry, but also be hungry to do more. And also, blessed when people exclude you and you're left out, because if you're doing that, sometimes you're not just going along with the crowd, but you're standing up for something, and standing up for something important. So be sure to be a voice, not only for yourself, but for others. And then, of course, to be blessed when you're poor, when you don't have things, and when you can relate to people who are poor and the people who aren't powerful. So these things are all things that Jesus said. And then he puts things in there about woes. He's saying, you know what? Watch out. Those are little reminders that if these things are happening, that's not so good. So he says, hey, if you're rich, and he's talking not about, just being able to have things, but being devoured by things, and holding on to things, and just being in the material world, and that's all there is, and things, having those idols that we talk about when we talk about the 10 Commandments. So there are those people who are full now. You don't look for more things uh, to to do. You just say, oh yeah, everything's fine. You're not always looking for more. You're not looking around you, and you're not using your senses like we've been talking about in some of my earlier videos. And then lastly, woe to you when people speak well of you. And you know, that's kind of weird, because it's like, well, I like it when people speak well of me. I don't want people talking bad of me. But Jesus reminds us that sometimes uh, when we're doing things for praise, it's not always in the right place. So be a blessing. And the thing is, you don't need all this stuff to be a blessing. All you need to do is to have your heart, your senses, to look around, be part of the body of Christ in the world. That is the main thing. So, I'm going to say it now. Be well, be safe, of course, be a blessing, and I will be here on on YouTube. Okay, peace.